Howdy folks, my name is Alex, otherwise known as Fear the Z, and welcome to episode 66 of the Churner's Digest. As always, we'll start with a disclaimer. I'm not a financial or tax advisor. This is not financial or tax advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, but please enjoy. Let's go through the standard call out here. Thanks to my brother's band Heavy Lemon for the intro music. I know they're working on some new stuff. I think they had some band member changes again. I think they have a new lead singer, so excited to hear what they sound like. There's a Patreon if you want to support the channel, patreon.com/Churner's Digest. You can start off with as little as $1, and you can go up to our Cleed tier. There's also Discord membership access through there if you'd like. Discord is getting some pretty useful stuff in there. There's some discussions in there that overflow from what I talk about in the podcast. So if you're interested in something like that, check it out. As always, we'll do our shout outs. Shout out to Kung Fuer, Cleed, Dion, Erica, Shu Hui, Daniel, Ricky, Rob, John, and new members of the Cleed tier, Desi, I think it's Desi, D-E-S-I, and Stan. Thank you all for your contributions to the Cleed tier. It means a lot. And welcome Garrett to the Patreon. Also, I don't know who did it. I don't think I have the ability to check to see who's tied to it, but thanks for using my Helium referral. I think we talked about it last episode. You can get a free phone number with 3 gigs of data per month and I think it's 200 texts and some minutes for free. I just use it on a burner phone and now I have an extra number, and it's a real number. It's not one of those VoIP numbers, so most places that know of VoIP numbers don't deny it. I think the last episode I did was a month ago, so a month seems to be a pretty good cadence for me. I had to get this one out because tomorrow I leave for a trip to Portugal. I'm there for, I think, 13 days. We're flying into Lisbon, taking a train up to Porto, staying in Porto for a few days, train back down to Lisbon, driving down the west coast, going to Lagos down south, and then Albufeira, driving back to Lisbon, staying there for a few days, and then heading out. So I'll get a travel episode here if y'all care. I don't go too deep into them. I kind of just cover anything that's interesting, like lounges I went to. I'll probably share. I'm getting a rental car, so I'll talk about that. Hopefully I get an automatic, although I do drive a stick with my motorcycle, so it's not the same. It's reverse. It's weird. The clutch is the hand and the shifting's the foot, but it's reversed when you're driving a car, but I haven't done the car, so I like to think I can translate well, but it's probably just being overzealous. All right, let's get into the good stuff here. Our categories for this week they're normally the same, I think. It's cards, then deals, then sign-up bonuses, and class actions, and then others. I think this might be a pretty quick episode, but we'll see how long I yap, because sometimes I extend the yap session for longer than the material warrants. All right, for starters, X1 card changes starting November 21st, 2025. Lower rewards, no boosts. So this comes after, I think last month they were telling people that they're trying to push people towards the Robinhood card, because Robinhood acquired X1, and I think Robinhood's backbone of their credit card works off of how X1 worked, and they bought their app, and I know Robinhood's app is quite good, and I'm sure X1's is similar, so it just gives them a jump start to getting into that field. But per today's email, it looks like X1 card is undergoing some big changes effective November 21st, 2025. Late fee increasing to $40 doesn't matter. Cash advance fee increasing to the greater of 5% of $10 doesn't matter. Return payment fee increases to $40. Replacement card fee increased to $40 also don't matter. Rewards will now be earned at 1.5 points per dollar across the board, and eliminating all boots completely. So they're basically just nerfing the card to make it not useful, but they don't want to just close the card completely, so they're making it essentially useless. Also, a bunch of people are getting additional emails that are saying that because you're an X1 card member, you've been made to the front of the line to apply for the Robinhood Gold cards. They're really just trying to push people over to the Robinhood Gold card. But it looks like if you get that email and you have an X1 card, applying to soft pull, and you basically get an instant approval. That kind of makes sense. Actually, the next comment says, the initial approval is for soft pull. Once you go through the process, they do a hard pull. I wouldn't be surprised if they just went with soft pull around, kind of like Amazon or American Express does, where they already have your credit profile, so they don't really need it again, especially because X1 and Robinhood are the same parent company now. So I'm kind of surprised to see they do a hard pull. But it's a shame to see cards just be gotten rid of. I forget what the boosts were for X1. Let me see if I can look it up. It took me way too long to dig that up, but according to Global FinTech Series, I think they're, I don't know, hopefully they're credible. X1 card gives you points for every single purchase. The reward structure, coupled with no annual fee, is unmatched in the industry for 2x points on $1 spent, 3x points on $1 spent per year if you spend $15,000 on the card in that year, and 4x points on the $1 spent for a month for every referral that you have. Additionally, they made changes later. I think it was if you reach the 15,000 spend mark, all of your rewards up until then get bumped up to the 3x, so like you get back pay on the points. But I believe they changed it to no longer do the back pay, so it was just like once you hit 15K, all the spend after that is 3x, which is normally how it works. But they made a change at some point, according to at least my Gemini summary says a later version changed this to 3x points for the remainder of the month after spending $1,000 in that month. Some references to NerdWallet. Let's see if it's accurate. An article by Afar confirms that. So it was a good card if you spent a lot, but I guess the Robinhood card is just better because you just get 3% always instead of just 3% after you spend $1,000 in a month or $15,000 in a year, whichever the reward structure was. All right, next we have a no longer working Robinhood hack. So there was a post by Kai TK on the R credit card subreddit that I read. This was 20 days ago, so around like October 10th. And I had to be home visiting family at the time. And this user posted a way to get approved for the Robinhood credit card without getting targeted for the actual card itself. And this came out on like a weekend, and it was available for a little while before they actually closed the loophole. But essentially, Credit Karma has like a partnership, I guess, with Robinhood card where you can get the offer for the Robinhood card through Credit Karma, and you could instantly get approved without being off the wait list. I hope you can't hear me pouring coffee. But this user found out that you could hack it to where you can, when you click a link in Credit Karma for a like pre-approved offer, you get a unique application ID in your URL. And they found that if you can grab the unique application ID in the URL and put it into the Robinhood application URL with your ID, it would populate the credit card offer as if you were targeted for it, even though you weren't. So definitely not the way it was intended, but I saw this and I know my brother was looking to get the Robinhood card, so I told him to go for it and he was approved. I went for it and I was denied. They cited a number of recently opened accounts on your credit bureau is too high, which is very valid. But this was closed not too shortly after. It was available for way longer than I thought. I think for like at least a week, this was able to be done. But most recent data points look like it's not being approved. One thing that is still working, though, is if you are just directly targeted for the Robinhood card in Credit Karma, you can still apply for the card there. So this backdoor way was if you weren't targeted in Credit Karma, you could still apply for the card and just get approved regardless. But now you do have to actually be targeted, which is how they intended for it to work. Pretty cool to be able to skip the wait list. Definitely not how they intended. Pretty crazy that that's how they implemented it, but I'm glad my brother was able to get the card and he was kind of hoping for it. And now I have the card in my credit card collection. Again, classic plug. If you have any credit cards that aren't on my card designs page on fearlessyou.com, it's at the top. It's linked in the hamburger menu or in the nav bar at the top. It's called Card Designs. I would love your card design. You can submit it if you have a Mac with Touch ID. You can add your card to your Apple Pay, and then I can get your card image, and it's just adding to my collection because someone's got to keep it, and I'm apparently the guy that's keeping it. All right, next, the Atmos 105K points offer has been extended due to popular demand with no listed end date, apparently. I personally went for this card, and I got 100K points, or 105K points. Don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but now I have 105K points with Atmos. I used the WSFS application to fund my bank account with the card and just met this bonus immediately, which is super nice. Next, we are into... No, we're not. Hold on. We're into Capital One land. First up, Capital One loyalty offer for Venture X. So it looks like Capital One is starting to do like retention offers. This user EACIP0 on Reddit reports, so multiple posts on here suggesting that Capital One does not offer any retention offers. Called this morning to cancel my Venture X, and to my surprise, I was offered a loyalty offer of $200 credit on the Capital One travel portal after spending $2,000 in 3 months. I had only had this card for just under 2 years, and I've been on and off with it actually spending on it, if that matters. So I personally plan on canceling this card. I think I'm due in January. I'm just going kind of all in on Bank of America Premium Rewards Elite card, specifically because I like the card, I like the rewards, I like the restaurant access on Priority Pass, and the main thing I'm going to miss with my Capital One card is the Capital One lounges, but I don't really need them. I sometimes fly into DCA, which has Capital One Landing, which is really nice, which I should actually talk about in the other section. But missing out on that is not that big of a deal, and I guess the cards kind of break even, really, so maybe I'll reconsider it. I don't know. I'll kick the can on that, but if they give me a retention offer, I'll definitely keep it. The card's good enough and pays for itself, so I travel enough. I'm just stuck with now a bunch of Bank of America points, and the Premium Rewards Elite card also gives me $300 a year in basically American Airlines or United Travel Bank gift cards. So I'm stuck with a bunch of those. I did use my American recently, which is nice, but I think I have like 400 United Travel Bank, so I'm now just racking up these balances. But keep an eye out if you're looking to cancel your Venture X, you might be able to get a retention offer. Next in Capital One World, the Capital One Venture One has a $100 plus 4,000 point sign-up bonus when you spend $1,000. This is for no annual fee card, which is pretty great. You can redeem these points to offset travel for 1 cent per point, or you can transfer these to travel partners or statement credits 0.5 cents per point. Keep in mind that they pull all 3 credit bureaus just from Doctor of Credit. Also, we'll talk about it here. I think I have it linked. Let me make sure I do. Yep, it's our next topic. So we'll just talk about it now. But if you're in the market for a card, and based on our next category or our next topic, this card might be interesting to apply for. Oh no, it's expired. I didn't see that. Damn it. I need to flag that. That was a good offer while it was out. Expired. But let's go to the next topic, which is Capital One updates their terms combining Venture and Venture X cards for sign-up bonuses. So it's a bit unclear to start. It came out October 26th. They added some new language to their sign-up bonuses that were specific for like sort of family categories like other cards do. I think American Express does this, where like the gold and the platinum share a specific category, so you can't get the bonus similarly. But Capital One specifically reached out to Dr. Credit to clarify on this. So the Capital One media team reached out to me to clarify the new policy. Bonus offers such as early spend, referral bonuses, and limited time offers are based on eligibility and subject to change. As of today, this policy is Venture X customers not eligible for Venture X bonus if they have earned the Venture X bonus within the last 48 months, so 2 years. The Venture card, Venture customers not eligible for Venture bonus if they have earned a Venture X bonus or the Venture bonus in the last 48 months. Venture One customers not eligible for Venture One bonus if they have earned the Venture X, Venture, or Venture One bonus in the last 48 months. So it's like tiering, right? So if you get the like lowest level card, you can't get the bonuses for the higher level cards. So easy way to do this was if you want to just get all of Capital One's bonuses, you would go from down up for the Venture categories. So you get the Venture 1 for their sign-up bonus, then you get the Venture 1, then you get your Venture X, so you would be eligible for R3. You can go up the ladder, you can't go down the ladder. It seems like a fine change to me. I mean, obviously it's worse for the customer, but I like that I like when they're specifically laid out on how it works. So at least they're clear and upfront with what qualifies and what doesn't qualify for your bonus. Next, this was something that I actually did like. Another change for Capital One here. So one of Capital One's tenants, I guess, like their corporate mission is, at Capital One, our mission is to change banking for good by bringing humanity, ingenuity, and simplicity to banking. And one thing that I think aligns very well with that they sent an email out to customers for, was they made changes to their auto pay. Now, this is sort of true for some companies and not others for particular credit cards, but a lot of companies, I think Citi is one of these that still does it poorly, but you can set up auto pay on your cards, right? So like on my statement due date, I want to automatically pay my statement balance, and it'll come from my checking account. But a lot of companies, when you make partial payments before that auto pay, those partial payments aren't taken into account. So like, let's say my Capital gives an example here, so I guess I'll just read their verbiage. And they made a change to account for this. So the email said, we've got an exciting update to the way our automatic payments work. If you are enrolled in autopay for minimum payment or statement balance and make a payment before autopay processes, that payment will now be reduced from the amount of your upcoming automatic payment. For example, if your minimum payment autopay is set to $25 and you pay $10 before your autopay processes, your automatic payment will be $15 instead of $25. This update gives you more flexibility and control over paying down your Capital One credit card. Now, I really like this because you're, one, not taking more money than you should be from a customer, right? So if I'm agreeing to pay my minimum payment and my minimum payment is $20 and then or $25 and I pay $10, my minimum payment's now no longer $25. So when you're taking $25 from me, in my mind, you're breaking this like contract that we have. It's not literally a contract, but you're breaking this contract that we've made of, hey, I'm going to pay my statement balance and you're going to take care of it for me. The Capital One's now taking more money than they said they would, and it's not in the customer's interest to do that. So they are aligning back with their like mission for changing banking for good, and also just doing what's right by the customer. Now, you could have the devil on your shoulder and think, well, Capital One's doing this because they are wanting to pay less down of your credit card because they want you to carry the balance. And especially if it's a minimum payment, they're now earning more interest on the balance that you are carrying that's between your minimum payment and your statement balance. So they're getting more money in interest. So they're making more money. So it could be both, right? Like from a business standpoint, it probably makes more sense to let them carry more balance. I'm hoping that that's not the reason why they're doing it. It's like a nice side effect for them. But I think that the real reason why they're doing it is because they're now taking less money from the customer when they agreed to not take that much money. It's a good change. It's probably a pain in the ass to implement, to be honest with you, because you gotta like before you make the payment, check to see if there was a partial payment, and then subtract from the payment that you're making. And an edge case that I don't like that this now fixes is if I had it to pay my statement balance and I made no charges after my statement balance, what my statement created. So like, let's say I owed $100 on my statement balance and my auto pay was set to $100 because it's paying my statement balance. And then I make a partial payment of $90. And then between now and the end of my next statement or my due date, I make no charges to the card. So I now have a balance of $10. My statement balance was $100. I made a partial payment of $90. Before this change was implemented, Capital One would take $100 from me. So Capital One would now owe me $90. And I don't think it should ever get to that point where any bank owes the customer money, because you're a bank. You have all the money. You should not be indebted to me. That's a whole rant, but it's a good change in my mind, and I hope all banks do that. All right, off of Capital One land. The sign-up bonus for the Venmo credit card is that targeted for their double rewards back. So they sometimes offer 6% back on their top category, but it's targeted, so you have to check to see if it works. And it's usually good for like 6 months. Sometimes they do it to the end of the year. So check to see if you're targeted. I'm not. I know this card's good for wholesales because at wholesale, like Costco, gets counted under grocery for them. So you can earn 6% in that category and there's no annual fee, which is nice. Also, they removed their cap of $10,000 per year. So you can really go crazy if you want. Next, the Mesa credit card keeps just getting better. They're now including Instacart for a year for free. This is downvoted on Dr. Credit, so I don't really know why they're downvoting it. It says Mesa members now get a year of Instacart Plus. This means unlimited $0 delivery fees on eligible orders over $10 and access to a family account, so everyone in your household can share the benefits. Seems like a good change to me. Don't know what the downvotes are. Next, we're into Chase World. This is just a reminder that the Chase Sapphire Reserve benefits update on October 26th, so they're currently live. Keep in mind the edit bookings. Keep in mind the Sapphire Reserve exclusive tables. Keep in mind your Apple Plus and Apple Music subscription, and also StubHub. So make sure you're using your credits as you have them. Next, Chase sends out survey regarding Southwest premium cards. In the survey, they state Southwest Airlines will be opening premium airport lounges in multiple Southwest hubs, which ties well to something that I'll bump up to now in our conversation, is that Southwest is officially signed their first lease on their newest lounge, which is coming to Honolulu. If anyone knows how business works, as soon as you sign that lease, it's happening. It's going on. You've signed a contract, and you will be opening a lounge. It looks like there's a document here of the Honolulu airport that says issuance of direct lease for development, construction, and maintenance of VIP airport lounge for Southwest Airlines. Approximately 9,500 square feet, containing a square footage of 2,600 as shown and delineated on the attached map. Oh, so there's two separate sections. There's a 9,500 square foot building room, and then an additional one that's 2,600 square feet. So a total of like 11,000, 12,000 square feet. Seems like a lot. I'm sure it's a welcome change for Southwest customers, and it sounds like they're going to be opening more in the future, so good for them. Next, this has been like kind of rumored for a while for Chase, but it's never really happened, but it seems to be happening now in that, or not really, but there's just like more examples of it. People are getting their OG Freedom, like their Chase Freedom, the Visa card before it changed to the MasterCard. People are getting like forced product changed to the Chase Freedom Unlimited card, which is 1.5% on everything except instead of the 5% rotating categories. I haven't seen this. I've seen data points on this for like years, to be honest. And I know people are still able to product change to the old one. So we'll see what actually happens. I don't like when companies force product change some people. I don't know why some people are targeted and some aren't. But keep an eye out on yours. Maybe you'll be targeted for it. And I wouldn't be happy with that because I personally haven't gotten the sign-up bonus for the Chase Freedom Unlimited. Not that I plan on getting it. Sometimes they run like 5% back on groceries for a year on top of the 1.5% the card gets. So it could be useful. Next, speaking of Chase Sapphire Reserve, there's some good points by Dr. Credit on how to maximize your $300 dining credit with Chase Sapphire Reserve exclusive tables. I'm not going to read through all this, but there's some really good points in here if you have the card and you need to maximize it. You can try and use it in kind. You can go through dining programs, local deals, cashing out, double dipping with your card sign-up bonus, gift cards, delivery, and takeout, using the $300 credit in general, and just details about it. So take a look if you have the card. Next, we're going into Amex World. So there's a whole bunch of American Express offers, which are always happen, but one that was interesting to me was a Verbo offer where you spend $70, you earn $70 back for one time on any Verbo purchase. I think it might have had to be, I think I saw mine said it had to be a new Verbo listing. But the one I've seen Dr. Credit is any Verbo listing, and it works like a shopping portal. You have to click the link in the Amex offer and then purchase it on the website. But some people might be seeing not having to click through and do it, just add it to your card. So your mileage may vary. Mine, I believe, was specifically for new listings only. Anyway, I called this out because Verbo and Airbnb normally don't run offers like this because I think it's kind of inelastic. People will buy from them regardless because they want a vacation at like a proper home or residence as opposed to like a hotel. But it's always nice to see these and an easy way to get some additional money back because you don't really get discounts on there, and you really can't buy like discount gift cards for them either. Next, we have American Express Business Gold Card adds a new $150 Squarespace credit. So I believe you can just charge to the card. This new $150 Squarespace credit can help justify the $375 annual fee for someone who has a website and can use this credit. The credit can cover most of the basic plan for Squarespace is just $192. Top Cashback is currently has a Squarespace of $50.50 for new members. So it's a nice addition. It helps eat away at the $375 fee, like I mentioned, or like Dr. Credit mentions. Next, American Express is likely to lower the maximum number of charge cards from 10 to 5. I saw this on Reddit, but they're reporting that Dr. Credit is reporting that American Express is likely to lower the maximum cards of charge cards from 10 to 5. While it may be a your mileage may vary situation, according to one data point from Military Money Manual, never heard of them, an Amex representative explicitly mentioned the hard cap of 5 charge cards as the reason for denial. So keep that in mind if you're someone who gets a lot of charge cards and you don't want to take up all your American Express slots. Keep that in mind. Some people are reporting that recently they were able to open their 7th business platinum with no issues, so could definitely be your mileage may vary. Next, we have an update to the Rakuten American Express card. Previously, the sign-up bonus was spend $500 and you get $25, which is pretty measly. But the new one is spend $1,000, get $100 within 90 days. So it's nice to see it increase. Also, there's some additional changes to Rakuten coming up here where you can earn Bilt points. So I believe this card, I actually don't know if this card earns membership reward points or if you can choose to get it as Rakuten points. So, yes, I believe you can. You can make purchases on the card, and then you get points in your Rakuten account, and you can delineate where you want those Rakuten points to be useful for, and you can use them for Bilt if you'd like, because it's a recent change. So it's an American Express card that can earn Bilt points. Wonder if that'll be closed at some point, but you can now get an additional $100 sign-up bonus, which is always nice to see. And finally, for American Express, there's a public, no lifetime language, 200,000 points offer for the American Express Business Gold. Requires, I think, $15,000 of spend in 3 months, which is crazy, something I can't touch, especially on a American Express card. But hey, for you whales out there, hop on it. All right, into City World. City is planning to introduce a mid-tier American Airlines card, and lo and behold, they released it. It is, where the heck did it go? Now, here it is. There's the City Advantage Globe card. Launches with a $90,000 point bonus with $350 fee. Or 90,000 points, American Airlines points, or miles after spending $5,000 in 4 months. Sign-up bonus is if you receive a new account bonus. Sign-up bonus not available if you receive a new account bonus for or converted another City credit card to a City Advantage Globe card account in the last 48 months. This 48-month clock is separate from the City Advantage cards, separate from other City Advantage cards, which is nice to know. The card is $350 annual fee, not waived. No charge for additional authorized users. You get 3x points on American Airlines purchases, 6x points on American Advantage hotel bookings. No idea what that is. 2x on restaurants, 2x on rideshare and rail purchases, 1x on all other purchases. First check bag free, premium boarding, companion certificate, which is $99 plus the taxes and fees, flight streak bonus of 5,000 loyalty points for every 4 qualifying American Airlines flights, up to 15,000 points per year, up to 240 back on Turo, which I think is like trips to the airport, I believe. $100 for in-flight purchases, $100 for annual splurge credit, which is good for first dibs, eligible American Airlines Advantage hotels, future personal training, or Live Nations. I'd probably just use Live Nation because I go to concerts. Admiral Club Globe passes in the form of 4 passes per year at $300 or more value. Globe entry TSA pre-check for free, and travel and shopping protections. That's a mouthful. This is the new mid-tier American Airlines cards. Slots between the Premium Select at $99 and Executive at $599. The bonus is the main draw here since it runs on separate timeline from the other City Advantage cards. Everyone would be eligible now for the card. If you have the Platinum Select, that's probably a better deal to have a $350 annual fee. Longer term, the card is difficult to justify as a keeper. I suppose it might make sense for those that travel and who max out all the benefits. Also, according to Doctor of Credit. Nice to see newcomers. Again, if you get that card, I'd love the credit card image. Next, we have some updates on the Strata card. So there was that whole snafu with the 4506C that people were receiving in the mail, and people were getting shut down. It looks like some people were getting shut down for getting their cards frozen and unfrozen to thousands of Strata Elite cards. City has now completely shut down numerous Strata Elite cards by closing down their cards. Most Strata customers are not affected, yet dozens are seeing their cards closed without warning. A couple of days ago, all ports were zoned out or zeroed out, and multiple reports on Reddit are reporting this. It's not clear why these cards have been closed out, and affected cardholders are waiting a week to find out more from the letter from Citi, which is not great. But on top of it, if you weren't shut down, Citi sent out a letter to some customers saying, "Hi, so-and-so. Thank you for opening a Citi Strata Elite account. At Citi, we take our account security seriously, and sometimes this means we need additional information to verify an account. As a result, your account was placed on a temporary block for verification purposes. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. We're pleased to let you know that your account information has been verified and you're able to use your card. As a valued Citi customer, we're offering you the following for any disruptions that you have caused, which will be processed within 5 days. Your annual member fee. We're issuing a statement credit equal to the annual member fee of $595. If you have any authorized users, they will also be issuing a statement credit for them. Please note that you must continue to make at least one minimum payment to the account by payment due date on your billing statement. Welcome bonus offer. We will award you your welcome bonus offer 100,000 thank you points without the need to meet the spend requirements. Your account must be open and in good standing at the time the points are awarded." Actually, huge W from Citi. It's crazy that they went through this. I mean, I get it's stressful and annoying for customers to open the card and have to deal with all this like verification, but to get your annual fee waived of almost $600, any authorized user fees of $75 each, and then get your 100,000 point bonus offer just given to you without spend anything, like, bravo, Citi. That's great. And also huge for churners because you now don't have to meet the spend. I mean, it's probably annoying. Some people probably met the spend already and now we're like, damn, I don't have to do it. But hey, take what you can get, all right? All right, next, there were some announcements to our beloved Citi Shop Your Way card. Hat tip to, who was this that first reported it to me? Ray on our Discord, who's doing a great job of all things Shop Your Way. But Dr. Credit has a post, so I'm going to read from there. Looks like the card would be changed to a Citi Thank You MasterCard, same as the Citi Sears card, which basically means that the card will be earning thank you points instead of like Shop Your Way points, which should be more flexible for redemptions. Also of note, I didn't receive a Citi Shop Your Way targeted spend bonus for November. It just turned November 2nd, date of recording this. Some people are speculating maybe because it's the weekend, the first fell on the weekend, so they're waiting until Monday because that's how business logic works. Some things don't run on the weekends. So we'll see if anything comes. I'm still working on my spend requirements, which were, I think it's spend $1,500 in a month on like groceries, restaurants, and travel, and get $200 statement credit. I needed some Amazon gift cards, so I just went to my local grocery store and bought Amazon gift cards. Also, it's crazy how annoying it is to buy a large sum gift card at a grocery store. They always think you're like stealing something, and then you got to get the manager to come over. The lady that I went to self-checkout. I was like, "Can I buy this self-checkout?" She's like, "Yeah, I just got to ring it up for you." So I rang it up at my self-checkout, and then she's like, "All right, come over here." I moved over to the other kiosk. She rang me up without the gift card on it, but she ran it as like cash, and then I paid with my credit card, so we had to make the manager to come over to like void the transaction, then refund it on my card, and then purchase it again, and then make a separate transaction for the gift card. It's a whole thing. It makes me like not want to do this because it turns into like a 10-minute ordeal, and I'm like sitting there being an inconvenience to these underpaid employees at my local grocery store. So see how long I do that, but hopefully the statement credit posts, because my statement credit from last month did not post for a different bonus. So I'm kind of just giving Citi free spend here. All right, and then finally, Citi adds $180 in Turo credits to the American Advantage Platinum Select World Elite MasterCard. It's good for $30 per booking, up to $180, similar to the Citi Globe card that was just announced. So looks like they're doing a partnership with Turo, which I've never used. So if you guys have some experience with Turo, let me know how that is. All right, next, some negative changes to Futures. So Futures is a debit card where they give you like specific bonuses on being like environmentally conscious. It's kind of their whole thing, but I use it for like 5% off at my utilities, and some various like points offers that probably aren't supposed to be targeted to me. But they recently made an announcement that they're rolling out a Future Pass, which is a paid membership, which basically paywalls their best bonuses. So there were some grocery offers, which was like 5% off on groceries up to $100 per month. But now there's a fee for either $100 annually or $15 per month for their membership, and it kind of paywalls all those good bonuses. So including the grocery offer I just mentioned. Some people are offered 30 to 90 day free trial based on your account. I personally was offered 30. This is super reminiscent of Albert, which we discussed in episode 16. I discussed it a bunch, but episode 16 is when Albert instituted their fee. So they had a bunch of offers that were like get 10% back at Shell up to $5. So I would go to Shell, fill up my tank for close to $50 back when gas was super expensive, and I get $5 off, which was nice. But then they instituted a $15 per month annual fee, and for a while, you'd be able to sign up for Genius, which is their subscription, instead of Future Pass. It's Genius. It was $15 per month, but they give you a month trial for free. I signed up for the month trial. I would use a bunch of bonuses or boosts. Then before the trial ended, I'd ask them to cancel it. They would cancel it, and then I would sign up for a free trial again, rinse and repeat for a few months. And then that wound up being way too much effort for like $5 or $10 a month, so I stopped doing it. But now Future's going the same way, so it's sad to see. I wonder how many people will actually sign up for it if you found like actual good use out of the card. But meh. All right, as promised, some Bilt updates. So there's Bilt Cash is launching in January 2026, replacing milestone rewards. It's just basically new rewards on top of your Bilt bonuses. So like Bilt members will earn $50 in Bilt Cash every time they reach 25,000 Bilt points, no matter how those points are earned. Bilt Cash will function like money towards purchases of participating merchants and services in the Bilt network, such as cash off when you use mobile checkout, hotels, and Bilt's travel portal, fitness classes, etc. This will be in effect January 1st, 2026, and some additional changes coming. There's a whole press release. There's a video if you want to watch it. I'm going to close this before the video starts playing. Next, Bilt adds Venmo payment option for rent, select mortgages, and more. Bilt cardholders are able to earn points when paying their rent and also select mortgages coming in 2026. You can make payments with ACH, debit, and linked credit cards. Credit card has a fee. They've now announced that in early 26, they'll be adding Venmo as a payment option. You'll be able to use your Venmo to pay your rent, eligible mortgages, and also your local merchants in Bilt neighborhoods. I guess it would be interesting for Venmo enthusiasts. I know a lot of landlords take Venmo. My landlord specifically wants checks. I mean, if I asked him to take Venmo, he probably would. But like landlords that are more mom and pop and just like your Joe Schmo who bought a duplex or some kind of place to rent out during COVID for like 1% interest at like $200K and is now worth $600K, and they're not letting go of it and they're just making bank off of it. A lot of them take Venmo, so this will be used for people that live in those kind of places. All right, next, Bilt partners with GoPuff for home delivery. Bilt Home Delivery. You earn 1 point per dollar spent and redeem points for 0.7 cents per point. Many readers are familiar with GoPuff from Chase $10 off per month and the $10 times 10 referral bonus. Pretty small partnership, but it's always nice to see an addition. Speaking of addition, Wells Fargo adds JetBlue as a one-to-one transfer partner. Wells Fargo points transfer at the following rates to other partners. All the following are one-to-one: Air France, KLM, Avianca, British Airways, and Aer Lingus and Iberia, Virginia Atlantic Flying Club, and Virginia Red. And then 1 to 2 is choice privileges. Moving on, I missed this with Southwest, but it's kind of separate than Chase. But Southwest launches a new Rapid Rewards debit card, sign-up bonus, points earning, annual bonus. It's a $7 monthly fee waived when you have 2,500 in monthly balances, sort of similar to the Wyndham card. There's a welcome bonus of 2,500 rewards points after making 2 recurring deposits and spending $100 from the first 90 days. You earn 1 point per dollar spent at Southwest Airlines purchases, dining, and subscriptions, including internet, phone, streaming services, utilities, and insurance payments. 1 point per $2 spent on all other purchases. You get some various benefits, including a companion pass with qualifying spend, $35 annual Southwest statement credit, 20% off promos issued in January. A lot of companies seem to be getting onto the debit rewards area, specifically as a Derby and amendment. I imagine that whoever's partnering with this card is a small issuer, so they're able to Yeah, it's issued by Sunrise Banks, which is pretty small. So since they're a small bank, I think it's below $10 billion or something in total assets. They're excluded from the interchange limits on debit card, and they can charge like up to, I think, like 3% on interchange. So they can afford to pay you 1% in points. Well, one point per dollar, and Southwest points is probably worth less than a cent or less than 1 cent per point in terms of cash back. So they're definitely still making a profit on it. And there's a bunch of other companies that are doing similar things for debit rewards. So they're trying to capitalize on that market, which, more power to them. Next, I received an email from Barclay about my Banana Republic card. Super exciting, I know, but they're excited to share that they are making changes to the rewards membership beginning February 2026. You get points that do more. We're expanding the ways you could redeem your points, continue to earn points at great redemption value, but now a new earn rate for more flexibility, plus choose between shopping exclusive items in our new rewards marketplace and continuing to redeem your points for savings, reimagined tiers, birthday gifts and rewards you'll love, new points on apparel, shipping updates. They're reducing the minimum free shipping to $35, previous $50. Woohoo. It works on the Gap family of brands. Next, U.S. Bank launches the Split card, which is basically a buy now, pay later card just made by U.S. Bank. So you can make payments in 3, 6, or 12-month payment plans. I guess if you need that, it's pretty good. No plan fee on 3-month, fixed fee for 6 or 12-month plan, disclosed when extending from a 3-month plan. So I don't see it being useful for most people listening to this, but sure. Next, hat tip Cleed. The Verizon Visa is targeting 5% cash back until the end of year, up to $2,000. So check your emails for that. Specifically sent it to me because he remembers my mom has that card, which she does. But since I got her to switch to Mint instead of Verizon, she kind of hates the card now because she doesn't really know how to use her points. And it's kind of a pain in the ass to use the points with that. Excuse my French. So she kind of collects dust, but maybe if she gets 5% on everything, she'll use it. All right, next. There's a pretty crazy deal at Staples. I think this was around like October 12th, and I think it was like sort of near Prime Day, maybe. I can't remember. But Staples giving 100% cash back in Staples points when you buy luggage. So like up to $250 in spend. And it had an original end date of October 11th, but they shortened it to October 8th because I think a lot of people used it. Basically, you go to Staples, you make sure you apply the offer. This is expired, by the way, so sorry if you didn't do it. As I said, it expired October 10th, October 8th, and this is clearly recorded after that. You apply the offer, you go through their list of eligible luggages, and then you just buy it, and then you get Staples points back for your total amount purchased. So right now I have like, the max was $250, so I just found 2 luggages that were close to $125 each, and then maxed out $250. So now I have 2 luggages that I'm going to be giving away for Christmas, and I basically got them for free. But now I'm stuck with $250 worth of Staples gift cards, or Staples points, which I can use on purchases. They sell a bunch of tech, so I imagine I'll just buy something again for Christmas and I'll get it for free. But that was a pretty great deal. It's gone now. I think I made a lightning deal for it, so that's one of the benefits of the Patreon. I can send that out to you with timely updates, and you can get that. The only thing I don't know about this, and I haven't been able to find anything, is when Staples points expire. I think I read somewhere that you have to make a purchase within a year to keep Staples points active, so I should be good for at least a year on that. But pretty great deal. Next, some good stuff for in-kind. I don't know if these are still available, but there were links for spend 15, get 15 off, and spend 50, get 25 off. I know that one has expired because that expired November 1st. But a lot of these, as we've talked about in the past, they are not intended for the masses, but they get sent out to specific users, and then it's not a unique link, and anyone can do it. So I have applied them to my account. Still liking in-kind. I did see 40% off gift cards in the app, and I wound up buying like $300 in there. I thought that was kind of the highest that they offer, but head tip to Yarp in the Discord. They called out that they've seen 45% in the past discounts in app, but it required much higher spend. It was like $1,000 you had to buy. And I've seen some other chatter in the Discord that there's some theories that it'll go up to like 50% maybe during Black Friday at Costco and maybe in the app. So if you're in the market for some gift cards for in-kind, keep an eye out. Next, we have a brokerage bonus that's 2% match on up to $3,000 back. So that would be, what's the math there? Maximum $60,000 transferred over, 2% match. I thought I was kind of in the market for these bonuses, but I'm getting ever growingly lazy, and I'm just not interested in doing it. This specific offer is you must have 2 months of their Trader Pro, which is $10 a month. They reimburse your ACATS fee. After the first 2 months, there will be $100 charged to your account for Trader Pro. You'll be charged $35 per month as a member of Trader Pro Plus subscription. Offer cannot be combined with any other offers. Promo transfer not transferable. What's the holding period? Somebody please tell me. Here we go. Let's zoom in here. I can't read. I'm too blind. How and when is the cash bonus paid? Cash bonus is paid in 6 months installments beginning 30 days after your transfer settles. Maximum of $500 per month. You must maintain the transfer balance for 180 days. Withdrawals or outgoing transfers during this period will forfeit any remaining bonuses. So 6 months, right? Yeah, 6 months. And you'll get your full payout. So if you transfer the max $60K, you'll get $500 per month for 6 months minus the fee of, I think someone did a nice little breakdown here. Where the heck is it? I don't know how to do math. Hold on. Okay, for some reason I divided by 5%. So you have to transfer over $150,000 to get the full $3,000. You bring $150K for 6 months, you get $3,000. Minus $7 in subscription fees, $10 per month, minus a $75 outgoing ACATS fee to get it out, even though you get reimbursed for coming in, but if you want it back out. So net earnings on $150,000 is $2,855. It's pretty great. Again, I've been super lazy, and also I'm going and traveling abroad for a few months, or 2 weeks, so I probably won't go for this. It's good until, did they give a date that this goes until? I don't see one. So if you're in the market for a transfer bonus, this is pretty great, especially with a really short holding period. They are SIPC insured, so technically if they go under, your funds will still be yours. I might go for it, especially because it's only 6 months. I have premium reward. I have platinum honors with Bank of America, so I can transfer out, have my balance at zero. I get there for a year, but all I have to hold is for six months and then transfer it back, and then I can qualify again within 6 months. So maybe I will go for this. I got to look into it more, but that one's actually super interesting. All right, next we have CVS was doing get $20 extra bucks when you spend $100 on select gift cards, including Zillions, Chipotle, DoorDash, etc. I went to my local CVS. I saw this reported in the Discord, and then Dr. Credit got a hold of it and shared it out. I'm not seeing it anymore, but it looks like it's valid from today until the 8th, even though I saw it earlier than that. So maybe I was just too early, or maybe it was like in between times of transferring. Also, since it's post-Halloween, if you like Halloween candy, they normally do like 50 to 75% off of Halloween candy. Right now, it's like 25 to 30% off, so just wait. Also, if you want like Halloween decorations, those will eventually go to like 75% off. I went to my local CVS, and they had like huge, like 4-foot skeletons that were at 25% off right now. So it was $100. They were down to like $75. Those will definitely reduced even further. Last year, I bought like a Santa for like 65% off. I also bought I actually forgot I had this. I bought a like under the tree train for I think like 60% off. It was like $100. I got it for like $40 or something. It was pretty cool. Keep an eye out for that. DoorDash was also offering, it's no longer around, so it is expired, but they were offering discounts on gift cards, including Lyft, PetSmart, Southwest, Xbox, Nordstrom's, and more at 5% off, including Zillions, and then some additional bonuses for $10 off when you spend $100 on things like Ulta Beauty, Sephora, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, and others. So sometimes DoorDash has decent deals on their gift cards. It doesn't work. You can't use your DoorDash cash, I don't think. If you could, that'd be kind of crazy because I sometimes get that for like 20% off. Next, we're into sign up bonus land. If you don't have an Ally account, Ally's offering a $300 checking bonus with Get 300. You have to do 2 consecutive $1,000 direct deposits. Add money to your account within 30 days of opening and do the 2 consecutive direct deposits for 2 months. Looking at what qualifies as direct deposit for Ally. Loading, please. Nonchalantly sips coffee. The link didn't work. Sick. I have to go to Ally myself. Schwab, Chase Business. Not a lot of data points for Ally. Next, Truist has a $400 checking bonus. It's good for Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Mississippi, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, West Virginia, and D.C. I think those are all accurate. This requires one direct deposit of $2,000 or more in 90 days of account opening. I went for this when it was a $500 bonus. Actually, it looks like, I'm not sure exactly what the terms are for this, but it's valid through March of next year. The one that's listed in Dr. Credit is receive at least 2 qualifying direct deposits totaling $2,000 or more within 120 days of account opening and complete at least 20 qualifying debit purchases within 90 days. But it might be different. Let's see if they currently listed on their website. It is the one I just listed. 2 qualifying direct deposits, $2,000 or more, and 20 qualifying debit purchases. And their direct deposits look like it qualifies as, drumroll please, a whole bunch. Ally, Affinity, Bank of America, Capital One, Charles Schwab, Chase Business, Discover, E-Trade, Fidelity, Wells Fargo. So super easy to qualify. Personally, I put my data point. Let's go look at it. My data point was I opened the account on March of 2022. I did a $500 push from E-Trade twice because it was just $1,000 back then with no need for debit card purchases. And they had a cool website. I don't know if the website's still going. Let's see if it still works. It looks like they've taken it away. There was a website where you could track. Oh, you can. Nice. I'll put it in the show notes, but there's a website where you can track your bonus. It takes a little bit to update, but you can track your qualifications. What did I just link in here? Is that the right link? Officechoice.com. Yeah, that is right. You can sign into your account and it'll tell you your progress on your bonus, which is super nice. I love when banks do that. So I did 2 $500 pushes from E-Trade on April 12th and April 14th, and then April 21st. The purple check on the site showed. So it took like about a week for it to populate on the site. And then a day after the check populated on the site, so April 22nd, the $500 bonus credited. So super quick payout and super easy to track. If you're in the States and you haven't done Truist bonuses in the past, I would definitely suggest going for it. Let me see if they have a lifetime qualification. Household limit, none. This is churnable, so I should really go for this. I can definitely qualify it. The 20 debit card purchase is kind of annoying. I might just try like Cash App. Let's see if people have posted the word Cash App in here. Cash App. I did Cash App deposits twice. No. Cash App deposits, no. Use different bank to pull out the funds. Another option, use the bill pay to pay your credit card. You could also use debit card to pull funds using Cash App as last resort and debit. Another card, Cash App did not work. I mentioned the bonus tracker for the debits and DBs. When Cash App doesn't work, usually Venmo doesn't either. Okay, so Cash App reloads do not count as debit card purchases. So I'd probably just do $25 Amazon gift card loads, but that's a lot. So your mileage may vary, but I should probably go for that. All right, moving on. Some class action. I received a mailer for a Shields class action for my private information being leaked. I think it was like a payment of $50. It's not public to anybody, but check your mail. Also, there's a potential class action against Nest for their thermostat support. So Google announced that like first and second gen Nest models from 2011, 2012, they're just stopping all support. They're just decided, they specifically said like, in order to improve the quality of Nest products going forward, we need to stop supporting these old ones, which I almost will give them a pass and say, yeah, I get it, but I don't, because it doesn't cost you anything. Just like stop putting support on them, put it on life. First off, it does cost you a little bit, actually. I'll take it back. You do have to have engineers that are there to fix bugs, to make updates to vulnerabilities, to make things backwards compatible, or don't make them backwards compatible. Leave it running on its own infrastructure that's legacy and have someone support it, and then have all the new stuff run on new stuff. They just want you to buy more thermostats, and they don't want to pay the engineers to support the old products. They make so much money. They just reported, I think, $10 billion in revenue. In revenue. So like they can afford it. I think they should definitely have a class action lawsuit against this because it's kind of crazy. They should. I think they gave like discounts to those that had it to buy a new one, but that's not enough if you ask me. So keep an eye out on that. I don't think there's a form for it just yet. Or we're in the other section now. Fifth Third Bank is buying Comerica Bank for $11 billion, which is a crazy number. Which is good because now Fifth Third will have more places where they will have footprint and their bonuses will now be available in those areas. And I don't think Comerica Bank had too many offers, which is nice. Cool. Next, there was an interesting article by New York Times about churning. I don't think that was really useful, nothing groundbreaking, just like talking about churning, and people in our credit cards and our churning were like, man, they shouldn't be talking about this publicly, but like it's not changing. Most people think that churning is too much of a headache to do, which I'm starting to feel that because I get like churning fatigue. But it's an interesting read if you want to read up on it. Next, Kraken Securities also has a 2% transfer bonus for a 1-year hold. This one has changed. They extended it to be valid through November, end of November, but you must do the stock lending program on all of your assets that are there, which is when your stocks are lended, they're not SIPC insured. So I'm not personally going for it, but previously it was, you didn't have to lend it, and it's just with their like brokerage arm of Kraken, which is SIPC insured. But I'm also kind of weary giving a crypto company my stocks, even though it is SIPC insured. So I didn't immediately go for it. And also the hold is for 1 year. And you have to be Kraken Plus member, which also costs money. So everyone's just following the Robinhood scheme of buy our premium, get a transfer bonus, and hold it with us for a while. Next, Hilton's rolling back some of the recent devaluations, which normally doesn't happen. Some of their higher devaluations that they made have been reduced. So things like, I think some of their some of their Conrad properties. The Waldorf Astoria properties have been rolled back. So they're not as expensive, but some have remained there. I guess cool. Wyndham and Vacasa, that's why I said Vacasa and Wyndham. They're ending their partnership starting November 30th. Travel for new reservations must be checked. Checkout date of January 31st, 2026 or later. No new reservation may be booked beginning December 1st, 2025. All existing reservations remain intact and are expected to be honored. Members may qualify for existing reservations through November 30th, 2025. If modifying stays, checkout must be for January 31st, 2026 or earlier. No modifications may be made beginning December 1st, 2025. So we kind of saw the writing on the wall there. Vacasa was like a huge value add for Wyndham, and people got a hold of it, and they started being a bit more selected with it, and then they stopped honoring it, and now it's gone. And then finally, my lounge visits. So let me pull up my lounge visit tracker, which is a Patreon exclusive. So recently I went to Stephanie's in Logan, which is with my Bank of America Premier Rewards Elite card, which is always classic. It was on a business trip, so I was able to expense my leftovers, the leftover amount that didn't get covered by my 28. I normally get the chicken sandy and the hummus platter, which makes me stuffed, honestly, but they're both really good. Like, honestly, it's some of the best like restaurant food in an airport that I've had, not including like a lounge. It's quite good. And then I had some time to spare, so I bounced over to the Chase Sapphire Lounge. And since I have 4 Priority Pass memberships currently, I have my Venture X, my Premium Rewards Elite, my American Express Platinum, and I have one more that I can't remember. I have already been to the Chase Lounge once this year, I think. Maybe not. But I plan on going with my friends on this trip to Portugal, so I'm going to use one of my different different Priority Pass cards. I didn't use my Premium Rewards Elite card because I don't want to have to change the app back and forth to my different accounts, so I'll be using that one. But I went when I was there, and it's still one of my favorite lounge experiences. It's nicer than Venture X lounges. The food's really good. It's never too crowded. There wasn't a wait for me. It was quite nice. And then I landed in DCA, as I mentioned earlier. I went to the Capital One landing, and it still holds true. Quick, fresh food, pre-made options, good coffee, slow entry process. It's really annoying. You are able to reserve a table beforehand, so I went to do that. But when you first load the page to reserve a table, it's like in a loading state, but it shows you the calendar, and it shows you that it's pulling up today's date. And then it eventually loads the times for today's date. And I didn't notice that the calendar had changed to tomorrow's date because today's dates were booked. But it didn't indicate that well to me, and I already had verified in the calendar that it was today's date, so I didn't look at it again when it fully populated and bumped to tomorrow's date. So I went there, and I'm like, hey, I have a reservation. They're like, no, you don't. And I was like, yeah, I do. Here it is. She's like, sure, that's for tomorrow. And I was like, oh, damn it. And then I realized that it automatically updates the UI to look at tomorrow, so keep that in mind. But the landings are quite nice. The espresso martini was not good. I also wasn't really in the mood for alcohol, but it was free, so I was like, fine. It tasted like bananas. They put banana in it, which I don't know why you'd put that in an espresso martini, but they did, and I did not enjoy it. But yeah, that's about it. Next episode, we'll be talking about my travels, as well as some other things that happened in the churning space since then. Thanks as always for listening. If you do care about it, I will be doing the spend analysis again come like January of next year. I can't believe the year's almost over already. So I probably won't talk to y'all before Thanksgiving. So have a nice Thanksgiving. Enjoy time with your family. Make sure you unplug, but make sure you get some Black Friday deals. And I'll definitely be posting on the Patreon for some Black Friday deals. So keep that in mind and join there if you find that interesting. All right. Thanks as always, y'all. Have a good one. Peace.